Vlogmas Day 30. We are almost at the end. I can't believe it. Today I am sewing together those piano key borders for the animal quilts. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to get the blocks together. Hopefully I'll get those two tops together. Then we'll talk about some books. Okay, now I will take these to the pressing board, which is this way. Give them a press and trim them up, see what we've got. See, I do have my blocks all pressed out. Now I'm gonna press these guys. I'm gonna press them from the back so that I can make sure all my seams go one direction. Look, this one I messed up the order. This one should be reversed. I don't care. It was a mistake, and now it's a choice. My dogs are in the office above me. This is just how it is at my house. Welcome to my world. Now I am going to cut these, this jelly roll, no, piano key border at 5 inches. That is not what the pattern calls for, but I have a lot of fabric and I want to use it. And my ruler is 5 inches, so that makes sense to me. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull my Stripology ruler out and use it. Still cut them at 5 inches because that makes sense to me. Oh yeah, that'll go much faster. They're not entirely straight. I don't entirely care. I mean, let's just be honest. I really don't. So I'm going to cut it at 5. And I had a split place where I had joined 2 pieces, but look, it's just that much, and it's going to be in the seam allowance, and it won't even matter. Perfect. Okay, so now this one is a little shorter where the join was, and it's going to be outside the seam allowance, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull that whole piece off, and it'll be fine. You guys asked about trash. This stuff goes right in the trash. I keep stopping to look out the window because look you guys. Look. It's 89 degrees here today on December 30th. It's amazing. I'm so happy. All right, now I'll sew these together in random order, lay out the quilts, and get them all together. And you'll see them all finished in just a little while. I don't have my sliding quilt system available to me today, so I'm gonna DIY it. Can you see that? Because I can't see the camera from behind here. Anywho, there's elephants, and then there are hippos. Excuse me, Daisy dog. The hippos with the blue underneath. Okay, well, I finished the 2 quilt tops with the scraps. Just scraps. Everything from the free table or from Serendipity fabric. I'm out of breath. Or from Serendipity fabric that I got from a friend. It's amazing. It's from what other people didn't want. And look, I still have this giant bag of scraps. And I have some other fabrics. That another friend gave me that those will go well with. We'll just see what comes of it. Now, I wanted to show you right here. You know, I talked about flexibility when you're working with scraps. I ran short of the piano key border on the yellow quilt. And I could have done a lot of things. I could have gone to this bag of scraps and cut up more strips for piano keys, but I didn't really want to do that. I was already in the swing of things. I could have cut this border in half and then had twice as much, maybe even gone all the way around the quilt. Didn't really want to do that either. So what I did was there happened to be a piece of yellow in the exact right size, like the exact right size, just laying on my table. So I put 2 and 2 together and I put this yellow block in the border, and it's adorable and it's different and it's unexpected. Some people would call this a mistake. Maybe it is. It was maybe when it happened, when I ran short on the border, that might have been the mistake. But this was not a mistake. This was a choice. So I like it. I'm happy. It's done. It's going to make some kid really, really happy. And I'm excited about that. And I'm going to put it back there. And, oh, I have to move the camera because I was going to talk to you about books. And they're all right here. The camera's sitting on top of it. Okay, give me just a second. Okay. It's precarious, but I think we're just going to go with it right now. And we're going to talk about these books in just a minute, though. Because in the Ask Me Anything video, someone asked me about the yo-yo quilt. It wasn't until I was editing that I realized I was answering all the questions about the wrong yo-yo quilt because I forgot I changed my background. Now, hang on. I'm going to lift you up. This yo-yo quilt here used to hang directly behind me, and I got asked about that a lot. So when somebody said yo-yo quilt, my brain automatically went there. But I forgot about this one. Now this one, hang on, I'm going to move the camera. This yo-yo quilt here, they're made with that same yellow, the 5-inch charm yellow yo-yo maker. And I did a center and then 6 around for a flower. Joined all of those together and then joined those, hand stitched those to these background squares. Like this is a newsprint. This is a, I don't know, some other low volume. This is a Lori Holt green. So, but they're just stitched. Look, my hand's behind there. So they're just stitched around the outside, hand stitched. And then, and I don't know what size of a block it is. I could measure it, but I don't know. It's whatever fit around there. Guys, that's how I work. It's like people are like, what pattern did you follow? I don't know. I made it work. So I cut, it's probably a 9-inch square. I don't know. And then the strips here. And then all of these buttons. Look at this. These are hand-painted buttons. Vintage World War II buttons out of my great-grandmother's button box. In fact, the card that they came on still said U.S. occupied Germany. So, and it's a mix of vintage buttons and just... Look at this teal one. That's probably from the 80s. But let's get you perched up here on your little cookie tin and TV tray. It's, you know, this is how it is. This is how it is. We got the books. We got the books. This book video is a little different than the ones I've done in the past because normally the books that I talk about are books that I have pored over and studied and read in depth. And some of these I have, but a lot of them are new to me. But they're things I'm excited about, and they all fall in the same category, so I'm going to share them with you. Now, the first 4 I have pored over. And this is something that you will be seeing more of in 2025, a little sneakity peek. These are the Poakalani Hawaiian quilt patterns, and I have 4 of them. And I got them on Kauai in a museum bookstore. I told you museum bookstores are dangerous. But I picked up these 4 and I love the Hawaiian quilting tradition. I am excited to explore this and the hand applique and the hand quilting. Now, traditionally, these are solid on solid, but I'm excited to explore some prints and some batiks and just, I don't know, some different ideas. So there are 4 of those. It's, yes, just volume 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the Poakalani Hawaiian quilt cushions, patterns, and designs. So I will link those below if I can. Anything I can link, I will. This is Mary Fawn's book, Make and Love Quilts. And you guys, I love Mary. She is just, I just love her. All right. She's just awesome. And she's so cool. This book has part of her story. It has a lot of information about construction basics. But more than that, it has information about her inspiration for the quilts. And they're traditional quilts. All right. When Mary speaks of the Modern Quilt Guild, she always says that the biggest secret is that she's not a modern quilter. But there's something very modern about the way she thinks about quilts. And I just love it. So this is Make and Love Quilts by Mary Catherine Fawns. Scrap quilts for the 21st century. Next up, and I've talked about this one before, is Anna Maria Perry's Blueprint Quilting. Now, if you like concepts, if you like a basic framework and a direction, this is the book for you. It is fantastic. It talks about color, design, pattern and texture and elements of quilting that you can mix and match within a structure to create a successful quilt. It's fantastic. And it does have patterns, but they are patterns that are a starting point. Like, here's the basic structure and here's the basic pattern, and how it turns out is up to you. And I love it. Anna Maria Perry, Blueprint Quilting. I showed you this one when it came in last week or the week before. The days are running together, guys. The days are running together, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm still having fun. This one is Pattern and Paradox, the Quilts of Amish Women. And I mean, you can just see, look at the cover. The whole book is this beautiful. All right. Now, if you see me do this, it's because I can't see this tiny print and I have to look through my bifocals. But it talks about Amish quilting and Amish people and their stories and why the quilts work, why the quilts, you know, sort of the history behind the patterns. And it's just beautiful to look at. And last, but certainly not least, and it's covered in dog hair because it was sitting beside my bed, is The Pieced Quilt by Jonathan Holstein. All right, like I say, I'll link everything below. This book, I want to read you just the introduction, just a piece, a tiny bit of the introduction of this book. This is a book about American pieced quilts, the kind whose tops are made from pieces of material sewn together, usually in geometric patterns. I must state at the outset that it is a very personal view of these objects. I am interested more in their visual content than their craft. Obviously, the two cannot be divorced. The hand of the creator is always proudly, sometimes triumphantly there. And I admire completely the superb needlework many of these quilts display. Such handwork is an integral part in the quilt's place in the American pastoral legend. And it goes on. I mean, it just goes on and it talks about, yes, the quilt as the quilt. Yes, the quilt as the utility object that it was, but looking at it as more than that. The beginning of I mean, makers, we always knew. We always knew it was art, right? But it's the beginning of the greater society at large looking at quilts as an art form, as a visual medium, rather than just something for utility. Jonathan Holstein, the Pieced Quilt. Thank you so much for pushing me over the 10,000 subscriber milestone. It is a thrill, guys. It is a thrill. This is a lot of work, and I love it. I love it. But just those milestones, they do matter. They do. They feel good. So thank you so much. I will be announcing the giveaway for the 10,000 subscriber milestone. I'll be announcing that tomorrow. Also, the kitty cat video is tomorrow, so you get to meet all the kitty cats. Toby's very excited, and I'm excited for him. So they will not be left out. I'm looking at my notes here. Yo-Yo quilt, books, cats, quilt tops. I think that's a wrap for today. You know what? I'm going to go take a walk. I'm going to go enjoy this beautiful sunshine and what's left of this beautiful day, and hope that my David's tea order gets here. Oh, that's a good question, guys. Are you coffee or tea drinkers, or neither, or both, or something else? Let me know down below, what is your non-alcoholic beverage of choice? We'll give that a chat, and I hope that you never, ever forget that you make the world more beautiful just by being in it. I'm Amy, and I'll see you next time.